It's me. Sorry for the weird angle of this, but it's kind of hard to set up this camera right now and be able to get good lighting. This is the best we can do, so deal with it. It's time for a review of the new YungJZA project, You're Safe With Me. YungJZA is an artist that I discovered earlier this year, around April or May. He found me somehow on Twitter, sent me a link to his project on Bandcamp, which I can't remember right now. I Hate Myself, that's what it's called. Ha! Got him. I Hate Myself. I listened to it on Bandcamp and was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed his blend of bass and trap music with emo and scene, kind of alternative stuff, and he creates just this mesh of weird emo rap. I walked away with a couple of songs that I enjoyed, namely the track My Closet Looked Like Hot Topic. But I did revisit it a couple times afterward. Usually when independent artists send me stuff, I listen to it enough times for the review and then don't really revisit it. But I found myself listening to this a lot and thought that YungJZA had a very interesting approach to the genre, and thought that he had a lot of potential as a beat maker, and I really liked the kind of dark, bassy productions on this that project, and he gives us a new one here. You're Safe With Me. You're Safe With Me, for the most part, delivers the same kind of emo-esque, pop-punk-esque inspired rap music that was on the last project, except with this one, I find that there are a little bit more stumbling blocks. YungJZA brings most of the production, his own production, to the table again, like he did on the last one. But I feel like the beats on this thing are, I don't know, I just don't feel like there's as much heart and time put into them. A lot of them just really blend together for me. A couple of these beats, in all honesty, are just kind of, there's just a little bit too much going on. I think it's creative sampling on some of these, but there's just too much. It's too bright. You've got multiple samples going on, and they're very, some of them are very high pitched and just a little bit shrill, and especially when the vocals aren't mixed as well as they could have been, it just really just becomes, instead of, detailed and multidimensional, it just becomes a cluster mess of some sort of something. Namely, the tracks I'm referring to are Last Time and Dark Magician Girl. Although there are a couple beats on here that I like, that I feel are a little bit more modern. I feel like they're really, they really adapt well to the current landscape of rap and hip-hop music. They remind me of kind of something that Ray Shrimmer or Eardrummers or whatever would spit over. Maybe like a Rich the Kid would spit over. More Fetty Wapish, just, that group of rappers that really are kind of just sing-rapping. Songs like Bleached Thoughts and also the song Plottin' on Me. Those are namely the beats that I'm talking about in regard to that. Like, those productions I really enjoyed. Pretty much my main complaint about the beats on this, a lot of them just sounding the same, blending together. A lot of tracks seem interchangeable with other tracks on here. That's kind of how I feel about the project as a whole. A lot of the song topics, a lot of the vocals and the way it's delivered, a lot of the features on here. The only feature that really stuck out to me was Super Sorta Human on the Bleached Thoughts track. Like, he is probably the only person on here who's actually like rapping and not singing or rapping. Seems to me there's a lot more of that just kind of whiny, emo-y singing on this thing, which sounds really weird through some of these auto-tunes and filters over the bass beats. It's like I said, YungJZA is very different and interesting in how he approaches hip-hop, but I feel like Sort of Superhuman was the only one who had a flow and wasn't just singing something and throwing auto-tune all over it like a lot of these other features and the main artist is. But everything just kind of blends together, man. Concepts, delivery, beats, especially when pretty much on every one of these beats I'm hearing the same kind of 808s. I'm hearing the same snare, and I know what snare that is as a beat maker. That is Trapaholic snare number 8. It just all blends together for me, and this project as a whole just didn't keep my attention as much as the last one, which I was really disappointed with, because the last project, I'm like, this is so unique, this is so cool. Like, I like this so much, but this one, I just wasn't feeling it as much. So the one thing I do feel like where the game was stepped up was mixing. I think the mixing was a little bit better, and the mastering as well. But on a lot of these tracks, I would say well over half, I felt like the vocals were clear. I felt like the recording quality was a little bit better than on the last project. That's not to say that the whole project has great recording quality. A couple of the back tracks and one of the tracks at the beginning, still just very lost in the beat. Can't really make out what's being said. But the big middle chunk of this album, the vocal levels were a lot better than on the last project. That's really all I've got to say on this, man. I still think YungJZA is one of the more creative artists that's doing this right now. He's obviously got a good network of people. A lot of people are wanting to work with him, apparently, from the producer standpoint and from features. It's a nice little spectrum. So he obviously has a network. He's obviously got fans because, his music has thousands of listens. But this project just wasn't as variated as I would have liked it to be. The last one you had, he stayed within one area, but he went and did other things in the area. With this one, I feel like he took just one song idea and copied and pasted it for the most part. And it kind of was a little bit of a disappointment. It's, I don't know. I need more rapping. I need less whiny auto-tune singing, and throw in an acoustic cover. Because even though the acoustic cover on the last project was one of my least favorite things about it, it made it different. It gave me a little bit of a contrast. I didn't get that with this one. Show off your skills. Think outside the box instead of just doing same idea, and just pretty much giving it different song titles for 13, 14 tracks. But that's all I've got to say. I'm feeling just a strong middle D on this. No plus, no minus, just D as it is. Yeah. Anything else you guys want me to review? You know how it goes. Let me know what you want to hear, and what you want to know my thoughts about. So that's it.